So what were we using before PrintFactory here at Data Image? Obviously, when we first started, we had our first printer. It came with a RIP vendor out of the box. And then if you're successful as a business and you start to grow and you find you need a second printer or a different printer, some different technology to service the needs of a customer from an application perspective, it came with another RIP, a different vendor. And before you know it, we've got all these different vendors. And the challenge around that is, one, training our staff. You have to train them on multiple RIPs. And then secondly, each RIPs a file slightly different. So we could push the same file to the 3 different vendors of RIPs that we were using, and you would end up with 3 different results. So the first thing that we did actually some years ago is we went to a 1 RIP vendor, and that worked really, really well. It simplified our training within our company. It gave us great consistency. Color management was consistency, transparencies, and all of the challenges that we were getting from the variable vendors became standard. And that was great. And that worked then for us a good number of years. And then we started then to try and analyze actually how could we improve what we were doing. And, you know, we live in a world of connectivity. And what we found with our current vendor was that it had very little connectivity to other solutions, and color management could have been improved. And we just found our incumbent vendor wasn't progressing at the rate we were progressing from a technology perspective. So we started to go out to the market and look for another vendor, and we chose PrintFactory due to its really open architecture. It has a fantastic API, and that made the switch really easy, along with the fantastic simplicity of the color management. So obviously, once we switched to PrintFactory, we could start to explore other great opportunities. One of its real strengths with PrintFactory is its cloud connectivity and its API, which we've kind of maximized the opportunity of that to allow us to drive some real efficiencies within our business. So obviously lots of users will probably use PrintFactory quite hands-on. Here at Data Image, obviously we're looking to really start to automate lots of the tasks that we're doing, those repetitive tasks. Our operators on the shop floor don't want to be doing that, and PrintFactory is fantastic at that. Again, utilising the API, so we're using that into our workflow solutions, into our MIS system. PrintFactory allows us to connect to stuff really seamlessly. And the other really big advantage that we've seen over and above our other ones is obviously the deployment of PrintFactory within our business. Is that because it really is a true client server architecture. All of the others we had to go around and keep all of our individual RIP stations kind of up to date. Now obviously that's kind of done centrally with the centralized ripping, and then obviously we've got the clients. And also a real great advantage, obviously we had loads of Adobe kind of CS licenses, and obviously we're using those within our account management team just for analyzing files, and now we can do that again with PrintFactory with the layout and editor. So it really has moved on what we were doing from just thinking of our RIP as a RIP. It's more than a RIP. So would we recommend PrintFactory to anybody else? So I think that's a really interesting question. I'd like to say no, but that wouldn't be fair. It does give us a competitive advantage over our competitors, but in the greater good of working with some amazing suppliers out there, obviously PrintFactory being one of those, obviously we'd like to try and help them promote what they're doing. So absolutely, I would recommend anybody to look at PrintFactory. Not just because of the product, but the team that's sat behind the product, the service, the support, not just from when there's problems, because there are always going to be problems with any bit of hardware or software technology, but it's how you resolve those, and PrintFactory are really exceptional at that, resolving problems and also listening again to feature requests. So occasionally we've come up with ideas and the team do listen and they do get implemented. So from that, it's keeping pace with where we're going as a business, and I'm sure it would be with our competitors.